I want to know your opinion on my new lighting setup. First and foremost, because obviously that's the most important part of this video. I just blew out a candle. It was over here. Orange light doesn't work, but I've got this now. I've got this lamp here. Room's dark. I'm using my phone camera now. So I want to know, leave a comment in the comment section telling me if this is actually good. I feel like it's quite nice. Maybe I should light the candle up again and make it all intimate like we're on a date night. But no, I'm giving you advice. Right. Let me get into the topic. Why most OF creators never make money. And I'm not saying you're never gonna make $1, right? There's countless OnlyFans pages which do make money. Full stop. There's probably tens, if not hundreds of thousands of accounts that have made at least $1 on OnlyFans. But what I really mean is being above the top 5% margin, because at that point you actually start making money. I believe it's around 1,500, $2,000 per month is what gets you into that bracket, the top 5%. And at that point, it's probably start worth it to stay in the industry. But before that, you're probably feeling very disheartened. You're probably either new or you really just have no clue about what you're doing, and that's what this video is for. But the goal is to get you into the top 5%, and for you to realize that there's more. There's hundreds, if not thousands, of creators in the top 1%. I couldn't name them off the top of my head, obviously, but there are so many. And once you put that into perspective, you'll realize it's super easy, super easy. But without further ado, I'm going to get into the points. So the very first one, and I believe this is the most important one out of everything that I'm going to say in this video. So you can turn it off actually just right after I say this, but don't do that, please. Is quality of content. Now, the reason why I think this is so important is because if you've worked with an agency before, if you've seen any of the videos on YouTube about, trying to get you out there in terms of volume, in terms of, just posting ads or just getting your face out there a billion times, spamming your face everywhere. You've probably heard that going around. And you have to put into perspective that if someone sees your face 1,000 times and is not attracted 1,000 times, they're not going to click to your OnlyFans. They're not going to click into your link tree. And it doesn't matter 1,000 times, 100,000 times. If the quality of the content is not good, no matter how pretty you might be, if there's nothing else that makes them feel like it's worth clicking onto a link tree or beacons or directly to OnlyFans, if there's nothing that makes them feel like it's worth it, they won't ever. No amount of spam accounts on Twitter or Instagram reel reposting accounts is gonna save you from poor content quality. So what I would suggest you studying is obviously how to make content as a normal content creator, getting the basics of marketing down, understanding why people actually would click your stuff. And obviously, there are agencies, the good agencies who will help you out with this and help you understand where your content might be slacking and, what you can adjust and all of this and all of that. But there's a lot of resources on YouTube which give you a content masterclass. And I have an hour content masterclass on my channel. And it's an hour, it's free, it will help you out a lot, just getting off the ground with content. But if you go on YouTube, there's countless hours of many amazing marketers who will teach you how to make content, and they've scaled accounts from 0 to like 100,000 ease, and you probably want to replicate that. So mastering pictures, obviously, short form content, long form content, that one's optional. A lot of creators can get away with not doing long form content, but short term, and so short term being YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, TikToks, all of that. Pictures obviously can go anywhere. um Mastering how to get people's attention and keep it, and then make you seem more valuable than, like, you could be funny and you could be interesting, you could be relatable, just to fire a few short things off. kind of letting those find their way into your content instead of just being this plain, oh, look at me, I'm in lingerie, please click my OnlyFans. That's not enough nowadays. Add something else and learn how to do that perfectly by mastering your content. Now, the second point is a bit juxtaposing, it's a bit opposite, but obviously there's the quantity of your content. You can't get away with just posting like once or twice a day unless you are already in the top 0.0 something percent. At that point, you have so much leverage that as soon as you post a picture, thousands, millions of people will start like drooling. I'm gonna have a water break. Give me a sec. Like and comment. Make sure that you stay hydrated. And anyways, back to the advice. The quantity of content, which is where I was. I'm getting lost. Yes, the leverage. You will have to pump out a bunch of content, especially if you're just beginning, because if you post like maybe 4 pictures on your Twitter or your Instagram, it's probably enough, but the algorithm isn't going to pick up on it. The new people won't have enough to feed off of. There's a perfect balance between, pumping out new content and spamming so much that you piss off Instagram, and there's so much of you now that there's no point of going to OnlyFans because all of the shit's right there. But you'll know if you're not doing enough. This is a very easy fix. For Instagram, for example, you only need to post like once or twice a day for the algorithm to be happy in terms of reels. But if you're not doing that, if you're just posting, every like Tuesday and then Friday, Instagram's not going to like that. So just make sure you have the quantity of it consistent and that you have it coming on a quota, I guess you could say, on a weekly or monthly basis. That's it. Just have that sorted. Very easy fix. Again, the people want to see more of you, so deliver more of you. Next point: ability to listen to advice. And my advice is included in that. So, what I mean by ability to listen to advice is that there are a bunch of instructions, pieces of advice, tutorials, whatever it may be, all over the internet for OnlyFans. There's articles, there's YouTube, there's other creators. You know, the more you have the ability to soak that in and understand what they're trying to say, and the quicker that you can apply it, the more successful you are going to be. Now, I like to say sometimes, but that there are dodgy people in the space, and of course there are, but there are dodgy people in every space. There's plenty of genuinely solid advice that you should be following, and I would advise again to stay away from the whole like dodgy black hat, you gotta do this thing with your phone and jailbreak it. Leave that to the agencies. Take the advice from other OnlyFans creators, which there are YouTube channels there that are run by OnlyFans creators, helping other OnlyFans creators out. They're great. Um, and really get a pen and paper out, and note down and apply. Your ability to do that will help you, even if you're working on your own, to really boost your operation. But if you're working with an agency, they will really, really appreciate that. And yeah, next point kind of ties into the last point, but the knowledge of the OF platform itself. And that's not to say you need to just know what the buttons do, but also understand the customer base and who exactly is going to be clicking into your OnlyFans. So knowing how the entire platform works, because people can look at it from a very shallow point of view, like, okay, I'm going to post pictures, whoever buys them buys them. Is that the case? No. You know, the top creators really have a grasp on their branding, really have a grasp on who is going to be buying their stuff. And from that knowledge, they've made different pieces of content specifically for them. They've collaborated with other creators, which specifically would attract to that type of person. All of this stuff they've considered because they have knowledge of how OnlyFans works and what the customer base is. Once you understand that, you'll be able to apply that to your own content, being able to make more relatable stuff and kind of make sure that, you're not attracting the people who don't want to buy your stuff, but they want to see, like, kind of, they're not really interested, they're just watching from a surface level. You don't want to be attracting everyone and then only like half of them buy. You want to be attracting this many people and this many people buy, instead of, I really need to get like a whiteboard in the back. That would be really helpful. I will do that at some point. I will do that, but knowing how the platform works is pretty essential. Also, there's like I said before, I kind of underplayed it, but you do need to understand how the platform works. How to add things into the vault. Your agency, if you're working with an agency, might ask you to sort it into different places. They might ask you to send it into the vault, which in that case you need to know how the vault works. But if not, send it into Google Drive, send it into Telegram chat, or whatever it may be. But anyways, tangent. And next point, doing your own research. I have briefly touched on this already, so I'm going to be quite brief, but it's like with any field that you have a, not necessarily a passion for, but a desire to learn. Try to learn something new every single day from a new source. Not necessarily a new source, actually. Just try to find out something new. This could be from the content that you make to how you actually deliver stuff to, any piece of advice regarding OnlyFans ever. Learn something new every single day, do your own research every single day, and it helps to have a contact list with other OnlyFans creators. Not necessarily so you can, well, you get a lot of good stuff out of that. You get the collaborations, you get the advice, you get maybe if you're running Twitter, you might be able to do a retweet for retweet. Having a good network also is a form of research. So I would advise you, as well as supplementing while watching YouTube videos, while talking to your agency, also supplementing that with being in touch with other creators. Because as much as I'd like to say it, the agency experience cannot comprehend 100% of the creator experience unless their head has been a creator themselves, which happens, but I'm speaking like for the majority. Speaking of agencies, next point is picking the wrong agency. This is a very key point as to why people, creators, don't make money on OnlyFans. The wrong agency is very easy to spot in terms of red flags. Like you could probably detect it 1 or 2 weeks in. And the red flags, the very common ones, I'm not going to list them all, but the very common ones would be a lack of communication. So, then you send a message out, ask you a question like, hey, when are we going to set up this Instagram account? Or when are we going to start posting on Instagram? When are we going to start posting on Twitter, Reddit, TikTok, whatever it may be? They take like 6 hours to reply, or they give you like a short reply and it's a bit shit and you don't understand when it's going to happen, or you feel like they're making excuses. Lack of communication, red flag. Again, very unprofessional. A lot of these will be unprofessional things. The better the agency, the more professional they are about things, and the more proper they are. But anyways, next red flag, low speed. So even if they are telling the truth, and even if they are communicating it really well, there comes a point where they tell you that they're going to do something and it is way slower than you should expect it to be done. You could ask them, when are we going to start posting on Instagram? And they tell you, oh, give it like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, or they keep pushing the deadline. Oh, we'll do it next week. Oh, we'll do it next week. Oh, we'll do it next week. Red flag. Horrible. Don't. Fuck them off. Fuck them all. Bye bye. Not good. Good agencies run with speed, and good agencies also have the infrastructure already there to get you started as soon as possible, because we know that you don't like waiting. Waiting is not fun. So the longer they make you wait, the more of a red flag they are. And the third one that I've got written down is feeling like nothing gets done. I've made this mistake keyword before, with some of my models when I was starting out, and they felt like there was nothing getting done at all. So they handed over their accounts, and they would see that maybe the profile picture changed, maybe the banner changed, maybe the bio changed, maybe we did some things with the pin, and that was it. Content plans, very mundane. You send them into the Google Drive and you feel like they're not getting posted, or you feel like they're not getting traction. You're feeling like this and that. If you have a gut feeling like something is not getting done, it could be a lack of communication, or it could be the case that the agency is just incompetent. The agency is just not getting anything done for you. And if that's the case, you should really try to ask them whether things are getting done. If they've made spam accounts, if they've made alternate accounts, ask for the handles of them so you can see the progress in real time, and really get secure in the fact that something is getting done. Some agencies make the choice to hide these kinds of things, but as long as you feel like progress is being made, then everyone's happy. But in the case that you feel like it's not getting, the agency's not getting anywhere, ask, ask, observe, and make your decision. And if the agency is actually getting stuff done, then naturally you will start to see that you're making money. There will be more traffic. The scripts are selling better. The chatting response is better. You know, all of this is going to come so much easier. But again, you can, if you don't want to work with an agency whatsoever, the other pieces of advice in this video will work perfectly well. You just need to focus on your fundamentals, and I'll keep saying this. You need to focus on your fundamentals. Never think you're done learning, and just keep improving day to day. Do do your research on how to do anything, improve the quality of your content, make sure the quantity is coming out, learn something new every single day, and the money should start flying in if you keep applying it. That is pretty much it. And that is the rest of my notes done. That's the video done. So if you look in the description of this video, I've got a new Telegram link. If you click that link, it should be t.me/ggjlinks. Click on that. You'll see, even if you're an agency owner, model, wherever it may be, links for everyone, value there, completely free. Give it a look, and I'll see you in the next one. Remember, if he thinks you're handsome, you better pay your ransom. Bye bye.